Hello and welcome back to IT Security Labs, and today we are back again with one of our Hack the Box videos, and we are going to be attacking Jarvis. It's a medium machine from Hack the Box, and we will get 30 points. And as you can see here, our IP address is 10.10.10.143. So without wasting time, let's hop into our machine. As always, I try to start with a ping 10.10.10.143. Make sure I can get there. As you can see, now that I can get there, I would like to run my nmap. And with nmap, what I'm going to do is nmap just to scan using default scripts. And I would also want to find the versions, and that's 10.10.10.143. So if you're new to my channel, on this channel I spent some time creating home labs, and also in addition to that, I'm on this path to OSCP, where I'm actually just attacking Hack the Box machines and try to learn some skills. I'm not an expert, but I would like to share with you, and people say the best way to learn is to teach others, and that's why I'm creating these videos. So if you like that type of information, make sure to subscribe and like my videos, because I'll be creating more of these videos. I already have 20 Hack the Box videos, and there'll be more coming. My goal is to make 40 of these, and before I go for the OSCP this year. So as you can see, our scan finished. We have port 22. We even have some keys. We have port 80. And when you do these scans, the first thing that you need to do is once you identify the open services, we have Apache, we have a version here that's coming from this negative SV, and let's go and find out what this website is. Since it's port 80, open Firefox, we should be able to see that website quick. So 10.10.10.143. Let's find out what's there, because that's very important, interesting. Well, it's an interesting looking Apache website with some pictures. Right away, first thing that I want to do is let's view the page source to see if we can find something of interest here. So as you can see, spend some time looking at this. I keep seeing this room.php code is equals 1 right here. And this gives me a clue right off the bat that this might be susceptible to a SQL injection, because this is exactly what it would look like if there's some SQL vulnerability. So the best way is you just test it out and see if it actually works, because it does look like it's vulnerable to SQL. But other than that, I didn't see anything of interest in here. If I do a %, I'm just testing SQL, say 30, 34 union, and let's just put a bunch of injections here. Let's just do that. All right. So from here, I'm just going to proceed and run SQL map. And to do that, let's go to here. Let's do a man SQL map. See our options. But I'm more interested in the shell. And then I want it to batch, then OS the shell. This should get us a shell. Oh yeah, that was very quick. As you can see all the way at the bottom here, we got a shell. Not sure how reliable this shell is, so let's convert it to a regular shell. Then from here, I just need to use my Python reverse shell one-liner, which if you go to this GitHub page, you see that we have this Python one-liner that I'm going to use. All I need to do is change this IP address to mine. So what I can do is I can execute this Python command. I'll listen on this port, and if I do a netcat on my local computer, I should be able to get a real shell. So let's copy this and open our notepad. And what I'm just going to do is put it over here. I need to change the IP address, leave the port the way it is. I don't really care. So after that, let's find out what the IP address here is. IPA. My IP address is 10.10.14.31. That's for my tunnel to HackTheBox. So 14.31. Let's go back here. 10.14.31 copy. Then when I come here, let's go to my Kali. I don't need this anymore, so I can clear that. Then I'll do a netcat negative LV and P. What is my port again? 4242. Yes. So I'm listening on port 4242. All right. After that, let's go back in here and execute our reverse shell. Let's see. Wait a second. Bam. For a second I thought it didn't work. But yep. We are in and we are www data. Alright, that's good. Now we have a more stable shell that we can work with compared to the other one that we really couldn't work with. So the first thing that I do is I want to find out what else I can do. Zoom in. What other commands can I execute here? Is this person. As you can see here, I can execute commands as paper without a password in this. So if I do a sudo -u paper and this command, see what we can find here. Alright, so we do have a script in here, and it looks like it's a Python script. And from these options down here, we can get some statistics, we can list attacker's IP, we can ping. Alright, so that's interesting. And this is in what? var /www admin -utilities simpler.py, and I want to use -p, enter IP. So let's enter any IP address, 10.10.10.30. See what happens. It's a bogus IP address, of course. So as you can see, it does ping the IP address. So we have that script that we got by doing this -l. So now let's do a cat, the whole script, and see what exactly is going on with it. All right, so it's the same stuff, not a problem. So what comes to mind is, if I can enter an IP address, I'm entering a command. So what I can do is I can tag in more commands to that ping IP. And this is something that I learned from a different machine, where if I say ping 10.10.10.30, I can do this and path to my script. Let's hope this works. And this is where things get really interesting, because if I can actually just place my reverse shell bash file in there, that'll be interesting. And what is called is inline execution of an injected command. Let's see if we can find any more information. In command execution. Bash for inline command. As you can see, this is how it works. Echo, then $. So this is the sort of the syntax that we might be using. So we put a $sign before, so ours will be ping $, bracket, and whatever we want here. But in this case, I'm going to send in a bash script. So if I come here, let me end this. If I do an ls, I have a reverse.shell here. Let me show you what it is. It's just a bash reverse script. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this script all the way to my machine, to my victim machine. Then from there, I can execute it. And this is the syntax. Let me open a terminal here. So remember our script, this Python script here. Where did it go? This Python script here has the option to ping an attacker machine, right? And I showed you that when we ping, we're just putting the IP address. So what we'll do is we'll put the IP address of 10.10.14.238. It doesn't matter. Then according to what we found on Stack Overflow, we can just put a $. This time they were doing an echo, but it's still the same thing, $, and then we execute our script. So we do that. Then we do a $, no space. We go to /tmp because that's where we want to download that script. Then I'll do a reverse.shell. So what this will do is it will try to ping this bogus IP address, but at the same time execute my reverse shell. But before we do that, let's get our reverse shell to our victim machine. And this is just a normal file transfer to victim machine. So let's do cd/tmp because we can normally write into the temp file. Then on my Kali, let me host my HTTP server. As you can see, it's Python. You know what? Let me listen on 8080. No difference really. I just like 8080 because that's what I use all the time. Then from here, I can just do a wget. All right, so let's see if we can get that file to our victim machine. So I'm just doing wget. I moved it to the home folder and it's named reverse.shell. Let's see if we can succeed in getting it. All right, so now if I do an ls, there's my reverse shell. All right, but before we do that, this file needs some permission. So we need to change the permissions here. As you can see, we need to make sure that we can execute this file. 777.shell. Bam. Now, coming back to our command here. So this is the IP address that we're going to ping, but we're going to tag our command. But before we do that, let's start a listener. So we don't need this anymore. But it's clear. Cat reverse shell. So we're listening on port 1234. So it's a netcat negative LVNP 1234. All right, now we're listening. Let's go back here, and we need to execute our command in we need to execute our Python script, and it's in var. All right, let's see. Wait. All right, so we can do that, right? All right, so in order for us to execute our script, we know that it's in this location. So what we can do is, let's just copy full path so we don't get really confused here. Come all the way down here and do a sudo. Actually, no, let's do it in the text editor so we don't get confused. Sudo negative user, because Pepper is a user that can execute commands, and we want to execute that command. Then from there, we want to do the option to ping. Let's see what happens. Then once we get the option to ping, we put this IP address. Bam, 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 bam. All right, enter IP. Our IP address is this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go, by default, tag this command here. We go to temp and execute our reverse shell. We're already listening right here, and we should get a shell as the user Pepper, if this works. My IP address is wrong. I'm waiting here. I put 10. This is my IP address, as you can see. If you do an IPA, is 10.10.14.31, not 10.31. So we need to fix that. All right, so now that's why I'm not getting a shell. It should be 14. Escape. All right, so as you can see, now it's fixed. Now let's try it again. Actually, let's rename that. Let's rename this one to reverse one dot shell. All right. CD to temp folder. In here, I would like to run a wget HTTP, of course. I'm going to 10.10.14.31 reverse one.tmp. No, dot shell. I should get that. Okay, wget. I forgot the port. This is a problem with this. Once I get messed up, things don't flow as well. HTTP, quick 10.10.14.31 port 8080, reverse 1 dot show. Bam. Then I need to change my permission. Seven 1 dot show. All right. So now I just need to edit my little script here. Press 1. All right. Again, sudo paper. I already explained this. Good thing is we get to see it again. Once it asks for a port, come and let's execute it this time. But before we execute, let's listen. Netcar negative LVNP. I don't think we need an N there, but we're listening on port 1234. My IP address is that. Now we should see stuff happening here. All right, so it looks like we do have a limited shell here. Print working directory. I'm in temp. All right, so we are in. Let me just do a who am I? I'm Pepper. That's good. We can fix this shell or we can move on. All right, so as you can see, if we go to Pepper's home directory, we see user.txt. So this is very simple. But what we are interested in, let me see if I can fix this terminal, this limited shell, so I can spawn a better one. All right, so here's my attempt to fix that terminal. So I'm just going to change the port here to 4040 and start a new listener and see if I can actually get a more pleasant shell than what I have, because that one is not fun. Okay, so let's come here. LVNP. Let's listen to on port 4040. And once we're listening, let's go back here to the useless shell and paste that. Does that run? All right, and do we get? Yes. That's how we get a clean shell, people. So we can actually work. Ls user.txt is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this user.txt and put it in my HackTheBox. Then when I'm done, we'll come back. This way I can get my CPEs for my CISSP. So let's do that. Right. All right, so I grabbed my flag. Then after that, let's go ahead and see if we can do some privilege escalation here. All right, so now it's time for privilege escalation. There's this nice article here, and there's also got milk. I spent a lot of time here trying to find out what's going on, but there's a few things that we can look for. We want to find out who can run as root, right? Who or what process, or is there a way we can see if something is running as us as a root or not? So using this, I went through. What I just do is I go through these like in the order that they are, either from this or from the other documentation they got milk. And the one that gave me something interesting. Let's see. These are just articles that I'll link in the description, but I use them as a reference. If I run this, exploiting vulnerable sealed executables to get root. So this one will print the seeds. So let's see that. Bam, bam, bam. Okay. So as you can see, we have OpenSSH, we have System Ctl, and then I actually went through all these, and let's check if System Control has root, and they even tell you here. You can just run this to see if System Control, and there's a known way of exploiting System Ctl. So I'm going to show you that. ls -la. If only I can type /bin /system ctl. All right. So as you can see, our user paper can run as root. I know there's a one-line command that will list all these with all the permissions. I just don't remember what it is, but once I found out all these, I just went and checked every single one of them to see if my user paper can also run as root, and it looks like we can. And there's a very interesting article that I found about exploiting System Ctl, and here it is. And this will show you exactly what you need to do to actually escalate. And let's do that right now. We can create a service, right? And then we can execute our reverse shell right here, which is very simple. Create a service, execute our reverse shell. And as you can see, System Ctl is running as root. So if we can create a service, run it as under System Ctl, and execute our reverse shell, that would be nice. So what I can do is I can just quickly copy this, so we can go to our text editor and modify it to our liking. Good for us, we already have our Python reverse shell over there. So all we need to do is change the port 4747, and then let's paste our service here. And from here, what we want to do is execute start. We just put our reverse shell right here instead of this bin. We just want our reverse shell. That's the only modification that we did, and it's on 4747. All right, and according to that, all we need to do is create that service in our curly, get it to our target machine, and run it. So what we can do is come back to our curly here. Let's do a show. We want to make a service in the root directory because that's where everything is. And let's name this service bed serve.service. The reverse shell and everything. All right. Just make sure that everything looks good. All right, so we can escape. So we can say cat there we go. So now we know we have all the information that we need. Let's do our input server so we can get there. Bed serve.service. So go back here, do a wget http whack 10.10.14.31. We're just going to get bed serve.service. Of course, I need a port 8080. Bed serve.service. We should be able to get it. Bam. So now that we got our service in, we just need to make sure that we give it its right permissions, like we did earlier. 777 bed serve.service. Bam. All right, so two things going on here. I'm just calling Python here, so let me fix that. I need to start in the user or storage bin. I need to call Python. Search Python. Now that looks better. That's exactly what I need to do. See, overlooking these things can cost us a lot of time, so I will do that. All right, so now this is my bed save. Let's do again a rename. I'm just going to name it bs.service. All right. So if I do my ls here, I do have my bs.service. Let's give it proper permissions here. All right. Now that it's in there, let's try it one more time. All right. If I do an ls here, so these are my first attempts, bs, bed service. I made a change here. Let's see. If I do a cat bs1.service. All right, so this is what I have. I removed all the bed characters and stuff. This has been a pain to work with. Seriously. Then from here, I need to do this. Let's add some permissions to our service. bs1.service. If it doesn't work, I might have to create my own service. Seriously. And then now let's see if we can start the service. System Ctl. So to start, before we start the service, we just need to enable it and link it to the home page of this person, which is where we are already at. But I think we have to specify the full path, because when I did it earlier, it didn't work. So home paper bs1.service, and I want to enable it now. I need to do an enable. All right. Then my netcat is still listening, and look at what just happened. By just doing that, I am root, so I can do a where am I? I'm in home, so I can do an ls. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm now root. I'm going to find my flag. It has been a long video, almost over an hour. But as you can see, what I just did is I came in here, got my bed service in there. I modified the service a little bit. Sorry for this video dragging, but it has been fun. So this is the service, and everything is working. Remember to like and subscribe. If you lasted this long, you definitely like my content. Just give me a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Otherwise, that's it for today, guys. It's a long video, and I'll see you in the next one.